Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. So I'm having a long break in the past couple of months. So I'm thinking of restarting this channel again. So this round, I have invited Kelvin so that there's more people watching these videos. Okay, today I will cover a number of topics, including some hot topics recently, which is Hodlnaut. And then also I will ask Kelvin some questions on regarding fire and so on. So there are a couple of sections here, so you can use the timestamp if needed. Okay, let's first start with the Hodlnaut, right? We heard of Hodlnaut withdrawal a couple of weeks back, right? So can you share with us, like, when do you heard about this news? What were you thinking at that time?
Actually, I sort of see this coming already. So when it happened, because even before this Hodlnaut thing, 1 month, 2 months ago, we have seen a lot of crypto platforms started to collapse, right? First, it was UST, then it caused 3 Arrow Capital, then it caused Celsius to collapse, then it caused Voyager, BlockFi, a lot. Yeah. I don't know if it will happen to Hodlnaut or not, because there was a period there where nothing happened. So I thought Hodlnaut was safe. Apparently it's not. But even if it collapsed already, I wasn't surprised. It's just that I was quite curious, how did this happen? Because they mentioned that they had no direct holdings in USD, right? Yeah. So apparently they did, just not directly. So I wasn't surprised this happened. In fact, I even posted on my YouTube community to warn people to withdraw if they are not comfortable with the risk. But sadly, the post didn't reach too many people. So I think that's something which I learned. I should have made a video instead of just posting in a message about it.
Why do you just post on the YouTube community and not make videos?
I think it all boils down to I don't want to spread FUD. Okay. Then to expand on it, because I don't have solid proof. First, it was found out by Fatman. This Fatman is posting on Twitter saying that Hodlnaut was doing funny stuff. Then Hodlnaut denies it. So if Hodlnaut dares to deny it, I thought that they will be honest about it, which they were not. I think they were just twisting the words. They said they did not have direct exposure to USD. So the direct means that they transfer the money to Hodlnaut Hong Kong invested the USD money. So in a way, it's not direct, but they still had exposure.
Actually, when you reach out to Hodlnaut directly and ask them some questions just to validate what Fatman has told us in his tweets, right? So did they give you a satisfactory answer, or at that time, are you like 50-50 trust them, or what was your view at that time? What's your judgment?
At the time, so there's this thing about crypto, right? You don't just blindly trust them, which I knew about this rule, but I didn't act on it. I just blindly trusted them. So that's one thing I learned. Hodlnaut told me that, okay, the CEO has said that there are no direct exposure. Then he just tell me to refer to this tweet. So they said, okay. So I knew that something feels weird, like they are not trying to confirm or deny. He just referred me to somewhere else. So that's what happened. I guess going forward, you can't really trust anyone in crypto because there's nothing to protect you if they were lying. And you can't really tell if they were lying or not. I know in the previous interview with Hodlnaut, some people told me that, okay, this who's the guy? Changde. The Changde guy looks dishonest. But I'm like, that's his resting face. You can't comment how he looks based on his resting face. You can't tell based on his look. That's genetics. So I don't know. Like going forward, I think that's a good lesson to learn. Whatever they say, you can't really trust them because even if they lie, then and then it's just your crypto that will get stolen. So that's the thing. So back to the question, why I did not make a video. The reason is I did not want to spread FUD. I had Fatman accusing them. I had Hodlnaut denying them. So who to believe? Then if I were to make a video, I will be sort of standing on the Fatman's ground already, right? Which I'll be accusing Hodlnaut. So okay, I feel that wasn't I did not have proof, so I did not want to start this whole FUD thing. But looking back, even if I did not trust both sides, right, I think it would have been a good video to make and just say my stand that I do not trust either of them, but
Yeah.
because of the risk, I have withdrawn.
Yeah.
Because the outside risk is just like 4 or 5% of the yield, right? The downside is 100% of the crypto.
Mhm.
So I think that video would have been really good to make.
Yeah.
So looking back, I regretted not making that video lah. Yeah.
So at that time, can I say that you are actually unsure of what's going on based on your due diligence? Fatman say something, Hodlnaut say something, and then basically it's hard to judge for 100% sure that who is telling the lies, right?
Yeah.
If it is 100%, it's a lot easier. Basically, you can just explain in details why you think so, right?
Yeah.
So now you just have different data points that don't align with each other.
Yeah, and because there's no proof, it's basically FUD already.
Yes.
And because it's FUD, I don't want to be the one who's spreading this lah.
Yeah.
So looking back, it would have been better to just spread this lah.
Understood.
But yeah, I don't know.
So in your videos, right, in the past, you talk about all this crypto. You always say that only put money that you are able to risk, right, into this investment because they are high risk, right? So you always say do your own due diligence. But apparently, we all know that there are quite a number of investors watching 1 or 2 videos, and they will just borrow your convictions or borrow someone else's conviction, and they will just pour money in, right? And it's only after they lose money they will start to like finger pointings, right? So do you have any like comment on this kind of scenario? Would it change how you view this kind of content creation in the future?
So when I made the Hodlnaut video, even the Celsius video, Anchor Protocol video, I've always mentioned the risk. Like I think even for people who invest in cryptos, they already know the risk that is there's a chance of it going to zero, right? Like there's a joke running, right? How much only invest what you can into crypto. Then the guy said, okay, then when it goes to zero, how much do you invest? Oh, I invested everything. So that's how much I could lose. But apparently there's not. There's people treat it as a terms and conditions thing where they take but never read. So I think like what I mentioned in the Hodlnaut video, I'm not exactly sure what's my plan going forward. Because for now, there's a whole crypto winter going on. That's why I've not really covered about crypto so much because there's not much news going on other than the Hodlnaut thing. But when it comes back, I think it will still be good to introduce crypto, to talk about it, like about the technology, not about the investment part. Because that's what I've been doing all along. I've talked about Solana, Cardano, and Bitcoin, I think. I only talk about the technology and what's the potential of it. But I didn't really mention like about the investment part of it. So if you are really want to invest in these kind of things, I think this is the risk that you have to take. Yeah. And as usual, invest only what you can lose. Because in crypto, just be prepared to lose everything.
And please remember, not your key, not your coins, right? When you put your money into all these different platforms, we're basically handing over the key to the ownerships, right? Yeah.
And that's why I say that. So if you really want to do it, don't put it on centralized platform because now we already know that all these are not sustainable, right? The reason Hodlnaut collapsed was because they don't have enough interest to pay out the investors. So they had to turn to USD in the beginning of this year just to generate enough interest. So that's what caused them to fail. But before that, when everything was doing well, they were doing quite well, right? It's just that now when people have withdrawn, there are lesser liquidity, they have to go through this kind of weird channels, USD, to generate all these unsustainable yield. So I think like going forward, it might be good to just not put your money into this kind of thing. But and even if you do, go through DeFi. So if you decide to go through DeFi, right, you need to make sure that the crypto is not on the platform, but in your ledger. So they cannot lock your cryptos away from you.
So there's some safeguard there if you use DeFi.
Either that or just wait for the regulations to come in.
So for those who have put money into Hodlnaut, maybe some couple $100s or thousands of dollars, right? I believe some of them are still like hopeful that they will get the money back sometime. So in your own assessment based on the disclosure given by Hodlnaut until now, right? Do you think that this is like a complete loss, or do you think that people should have some hope that they will get some money back? Okay,
I didn't really follow the news, but what I know so far is that the debt to asset ratio is like 0.31. So basically they have lost like 70% of our money. So that 0.31 is same trade amount that's trying to claim back lah, and they already have the police in on this. So the police is trying to ask the amount back so that they can return back to same trades users. And Hodlnaut did this whole, I think, judicial management thing where they try to block the police from accessing that money. Okay, so if Samtrade managed to get it, I think everyone can just go and lose all their money already. But if Hodlnaut managed to block it, okay, then the thing is, how will Hodlnaut get back the 0.31 back to 1? I think it's hard. It's definitely hard. Like, it's very hard to 3x your money in crypto right now in this 1 or 2 years. And they say they plan to do it in within 2 years, right? And they've already lost the trust, so there's no more new money coming in. So there's only one good way, which is they get bought up by other companies. So I don't know if it has happened. I think it will happen already. But since this news started, I think no company have stand up to try to build up Hodlnaut. So my hope is not high. But unless you have bought insurance in Hodlnaut, which I've already advised in my video, if you are not okay with the risk, just buy insurance. If there's hot for 90 days, then you'll get paid already. But judging from the amount of messages in the Telegram group, I think a lot of people never buy. So I think just you have to accept that this money is definitely almost gone already. Like even if you get back, it's just like 10-20% the kind of amount already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last word or advice for the Hodlnaut holders?
Like, okay, there are a lot of people saying that, this didn't end well, like after it happened lah. But for investors, I think it's quite painful. I've seen a few people saying that their friend suicide or whatever, this kind of money. So I think all this money are just temporary stuff, right? Temporary loss, right? You can definitely make it back because you already had more knowledge of this kind of thing already. So as usual, like learn from your lessons. If you need to talk to someone, just contact the hotline or even just message me. I'm always available through Instagram and my Discord. I will advise you. Or maybe my advice is not good. I will just listen to what you have to say. So I think that's what I can offer.
Yeah, money is very important, but money is not everything, right? You still need to take care of your health and so on, right? And money can always earn back, right? Yeah. So hopefully stay strong forever, whoever that is having invested money in Hodlnaut. Okay, I think that's all on Hodlnaut. Let's move on to the next section. I think in the past, you have created a number of options video. You tell people that, okay, you are earning 8,000 a month, 6,000 a month. I mean, these details are talking about your option strategy. So there are quite a number of them. For example, you are selling some call option, put option, and then you have some real option strategy as well, right? I think I recall it has been quite some time since you posted options related video in details. So I just want to catch up with you on these topics. For those who haven't watched your past videos on options, right, can you give some just introduction or some overview on what you are doing now in terms of your option strategy?
There are two options strategy that I'm using: covered call and cash cover put. Cover call is basically saying that if the stock doesn't goes up to this price, then I will earn the money. If it goes up, my stock will be taken away. For the put, if the stock doesn't go down to this price, I earn the money. If it goes down, I have to buy the stock. So I think that's the basic idea of options.
And you are always selling options, right? You're not buying, right?
Yeah, I'm buying. No, I tried once on a very cheap option. I lost everything. So I stopped doing that. So right now I'm just selling options since 2 years ago. Yeah. As to why I have not posted any video. Basically, there's nothing new to post because I'm just selling, earning. The strategy is exactly the same since I last posted, I think last year. So that's why I haven't been updating. Maybe I'll just update my new profit or whatever. But the total amount that I'm earning every month is still about 4 to 6K around there.
So yeah, that's my question actually. So let's look at your, let's say, recent months, right? How much have you earned from like options? And is there any breakdown, for example, like how much you earn from wheeling, how much you earn from selling call, selling put, and which companies that you are selling options on?
Okay, so for wheeling, I've actually stopped doing that because the stock have been going down. so I've stopped doing wheeling already. I've also reduced the number of puts that I've done. So for puts, I'm doing it on Tesla right now. I originally was doing about 3 to 4 puts on Tesla. But now that the bear market is here, I've stopped selling so much puts on Tesla. I'm doing only one now. Post split is about 3. I'm doing about 3 now. So that's for puts. For calls, I'm still doing the exact same thing. It's just that because previously my strategy is to sell about 30% strike distance. Because I'm worried that Tesla will moon by 30%. But now that we are all so bearish right now, I can actually reduce the strike distance down to like 20% or even 15% and get even higher premiums. So that's what I've been doing recently. And because of that, my options income in these past few months actually went up a bit. I think went up by 1-2K. So at my peak, I think I was earning like 8K in that 1 month. But now the market is very weird right now, right? After it bounced back since end of July, I don't know, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? So I've stopped trying to be so daring. I increased it back to like 15, 20, 25% strike distance. So my earnings have dropped back to normal levels again.
So I think when it comes to options topics, right, I think there are a lot of details that people will have to decide. For example, like how long is the contract? Is it like 1 week, 1 month's contract? And then how you set the strike price, right? Just now you also mentioned about the strike price. You will adjust your strike price according to your outlook at the time, right? Can you describe a little bit more on like how you choose all these like term to maturity and also the strike level?
So at the start, I was selling 1 week options because like apparently 1 week you can keep collecting money every week, right? So that's nice. But I did it for a few months, then I realized that it's quite tiring because if you keep selling like 5 options, 6 options every week, you have to keep closing, reopening every single week, right? So I think that's tiring. Then the second thing is that if your time is very low, your strike distance cannot be too far already. It has to be nearer to earn almost the same amount. Because there's the whole decay curve going on. Near the end, the decay curve is quite steep, so you are not earning much a lot. And if the stock moves suddenly in that direction, you are going to be in a big trouble. So now that I've realized all this, I changed the 1 week to 1 month. And it's actually, the amount that I earn is almost exactly the same as that 1 week times 4. So, and the good thing is, if you have 1 month, if the option goes in the other direction, that means the option has already decayed by a lot already, right? So that 1 week, that 1 month, I can actually close in 2 weeks time or even 1 week time. And I reopen already. So the 1 month gives me a lot more comfortable level to play around compared to 1 week. So that's how I choose my timing. As for the strike level, I think it depends on the stock. Like if it's something safe like Bank of America, it doesn't have to be too far. Bank of America doesn't move too much. But if it's something like Tesla, in the past it has been moving like a lot, like 20, 30, 40% in a month. So that's how I decided that I should sell around 30%. Just to be safe. 30% can get around like $800 pre-split. So that's how I got to that 6K per month kind of options income.
One more question here. I know that there's some like people who watch your video and have some negative comment on your video. There are people who doubt that your strategy, 6K option strategy, is just like, okay, this sounds good when the times is good, right? For sure, you are playing options, you are losing money in some period, right? So can you share with us, like, is there any period in the recent past that you lose money, and maybe how much maximum have you lost in the past from options?
Actually, if you think about it, selling options, it's impossible to lose money because you are collecting money every time, right? The losing money part is on the stock itself. Okay, then that's just technicality lah. So I'm combining two parts. Okay, that's why I say like you have to sell options on the stock that you like, that you know that it can go up over the long term. And I made a mistake. I did not sell on the stock. Okay, maybe in the past I was confident in the stock, and the stock was RG. So I was selling options on RG, mainly because I was holding the stock. But RG, I think it has gone down like 50%. So on the stock side, I've lost like 50% on the stock. But on the option side, it helped to cover a bit of the cost.
Yeah, because you are selling call options.
Correct. Actually, at the beginning of this year, I was starting to get bearish on Arcane RG because when times are bad, this kind of ETF won't do well. But then I made the mistake of thinking that options income is enough to cover the losses. It's not. I will need to sell for like 3-4 years to cover the losses. So that's my mistake. So when you talk about losses, I think it's about like thinking that options income can cover the losses, which it might not if the stock drops too much. So back to that thing about liking the stock. If you think that RK can go back up, then you just keep selling lah. Then eventually you will cover the cost basis back to no loss. So as for options losses, it can only happen if you are doing naked calls or naked puts. Where if something goes wrong, you have no choice but to close it at a huge loss. But for me, since it's a cover call and cash cover put, I have no losses on these things. It's just that the stock, whether is it going down too much or not. I've not lost money on options lah. It's just basically consistently giving me income every month.
Understood. So, do you think that this option strategy, right, is a sustainable strategy? Like, do it over a long term, you think that it will really help to improve the returns?
Actually, I think it can. But if that means my experience is only 2 years, so I don't know. But I've been in bull markets and bear markets already, and it sort of works well. I don't know, is it just luck or is it just how it is lah? But I suspect it might be sustainable. With my short experience in options, I say that it might possibly be sustainable because I've been selling options in bear markets and bull markets, right? And it's sort of, I have been, the income is actually quite consistent in a way. So the thing is about whether you know how to do it properly or not lah. Like if you are doing on bad stocks, obviously it's not sustainable. If the stock is going to go to zero. For me, I realized that in bull markets, the options, the yield, the amount that I'm earning from my portfolio, because I'm selling options on my portfolio. My portfolio size is about 300k. So I'm earning about 20% yield from my portfolio. So 20% of 300k is about 60k. That's the amount. If you divide by 12, it's about 5k lah. So that's the amount that I've been earning. If anything, right, you can expect that the income will drop a bit lah. Maybe don't expect 20%. 20% is only possible because I'm doing it mainly on Tesla, which the IB is very high. But if you are doing it on very safe stocks like Google, Microsoft, right, just expect like 10% yield or even lower. So as long as you do it safely, right, it's definitely sustainable. Like you can't expect, if you don't expect Microsoft to shoot up by 20-30% in a month, then you just sell the options at that level lah. And get like $10, $20. Even if that is still good money already, compared to the earning zero, right? If you're not doing options. So I would say, it's sustainable only if you are doing it correctly.
So for those who are new, right, I think some viewers that are young, they are new to option investing, right? They just want to get some resources to kickstart this journey, right? Is there any good resources that you will recommend? How do people start learning from scratch, from new?
Watch my videos. Actually, not really. I didn't really start from my videos, obviously. I started from this channel called Kamikaze Cash. He talks about options in a very basic manner. So I learned from there. Then the other guy is In the Money. You watch these two channels, that's how I got started. And after that, you go check out the options subreddit, options subreddit, and the Theta Gang subreddit. If you are doing something wrong, people will shoot you in their forum. So I think it's a good, if you are not sure of anything, you just ask there, then they will explain to you. So this was how I started. Many people think I started from Chicken Genius. No, I posted at the same time as him, man. So that's how I started. If you are not sure about this whole option thing, right? How I started was I do it on very safe stocks like Bank of America. I know that Bank of America won't go bankrupt. So I've been earning $10-$20 a month. And okay, then after doing it for 2-3 months, I'm more confident. Then I move on to the stock in my portfolio. So that's how I got started. I see. Good
resources, good recommendation there. I'll put that in the link below. I think that's all for the section for options. Let's quickly move on to the next one. Now comes to the third sections, which I want to ask Kelvin, because in the past I watched your videos, right? Then you talk about like how does one save 80% of the income? How do you fire, and how much money that you should save by the time you are reaching 30, 40, 50 years old, right? So I think that is really interesting topics. On one video, particularly the one that you said you save 80% of your income. Wow. So I think that's really impressive. First question is that really true that you can save 80% of your income? And how much is your income if you are able to disclose to us?
Here I have to make a difference. YouTube income is business income. Personal income is the salary I pay myself. So I'm just calculating this on the personal income side. And if I add that with the options income, that will be 80%. Because I think my expenses is very low, even with a kid. So that's true.
So how much have you earned like in a month, just considering the money that you say you pay yourself and the option strategy?
The amount I pay myself is 6.5k. It's basically for tax purpose. Any higher, I will have to pay higher tax. So, and the options income, I'm expecting around 5 to 6k. And then if I add that, my expenses plus my kids' expenses is about 1,500 to 2,000. So if I divide that, it's about 80%.
Okay, I think for those who are doing all these freelancers or don't have a fixed salary, right? We all understood that this type of income, for example, like YouTuber, can fluctuate from time to time, right? From month to month. So I just want to ask you, like, are your incomes considered like consistent, or is it like fluctuate a lot in the past?
Actually, it fluctuate a lot there. Like in November, I was earning this amount. Then now the income has dropped by 50%. And it's still dropping. But the thing is, like, if I compare the YouTube income, before I quit my job, this is my income level. Then the YouTube income is higher by a bit, a few K. So at the peak, it was here. So now that it's dropped already, still here. So as long as it doesn't drop to 1K kind of income, right, I'm still safe.
Yeah.
Because my income level is so low, and I purposely keep it low. Otherwise, let's say if I go upgrade my house, I upgrade to buy a Tesla car, then my income level go high. Then I might be unable to sustain this lifestyle if my income level drops further.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that I keep my income, my expense level very low. Then wherever it fluctuates, as long as it's still above this level, then I'm safe. Yeah.
So you mentioned that your expenses is so low, right?
Yeah.
Why do you not spending your monies, right? Is there any particular reason that you have a goal that you want to save a lot of money for investment? Is that the case, or you just don't draw so much pleasure from spending?
First is I'm too busy to spend money. Like people spend money on what? They go buy clothes, they go buy all sorts of things. But it's just that I'm working 13 hours a week. I don't have the time to spend money. I don't even have time to go out and meet friends, man. Like I think you are one of the few that I've went out to meet in this past 2 years. So that's the first thing. I don't have time to spend money. That's basically it. Then the second thing is if I spend money, right, it's not on cheap things. I spend it on big things. Like I will buy a Tesla car that costs 300k. I'll buy a condo that costs 1 million.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't have that kind of money. So that's why I'm not spending that much money yet. Yeah. And actually I'm saving for financial independence, retire early. There's always a price tag to everything, right? And FIRE is, to me, is about $1 million. So that I'm trying to save to this amount. If I spend it, then I will wish that goes slower. Yeah. So I think if I have this goal, then it's easier not to spend so much money on random stuff. Yeah.
So come back to talking about Tesla car, not stocks, and also condo. Do you actually have a plan to have this kind of like buying in the future?
Hard to say. Like if I'm earning, let's say I'm paying myself 6.5k, right? Then I don't have this plan. But if I'm earning like 100k a month, then it might be in my consideration. Then of course I can't tell how much I'll be earning in the future. So for now I don't have plan based on my current income. Yeah. So that's the thing.
What about like some let's say just normal daily expenses, right? For example, like going out, have a nice meal, spend let's say $100+ for dinner with families. Do you have that kind of spending? Because you only need to go out, let's say a couple of times, and then every time you go out, let's say you just spend like 100 to 150. That's like few $100 gone, right? But based on what you share with us, I don't think you are having that kind of budget for this kind of considered luxury spending.
Actually, I got.
Share with us what you spend on.
Like when I got budget because I can always sell option to cover the expenses. That's what I did. Like I know that I'm going to eat an expensive meal this Friday, right? I will sell a 2 days to expiry kind of Tesla naked core by the much further strike price lah. So that I only earn like $20-$30 just to cover the cost. So I can always print money to cover the smaller expenses. As for budget, actually I don't have budget. Like I said, I don't have time to spend money.
Okay.
So even if I want to, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah. But with that being said, I definitely got some budget for vacation, for food with my wife. Otherwise, she won't be happy, ma.
Yeah.
For my kid, that one I definitely won't save on lah. Like I will definitely bring my kid to visit places like zoo, all this kind of thing. Definitely got lah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, happy kid also happy life. So expensive stuff. I don't know what is expensive. Like Hodlnaut every meal. I think I will get bored of it also, right? Like I realized that one thing. Like people spend a lot of money on food, right? Then I realized if you break down the taste, it's just a few tastes, right? Like sweet, sour, 酸甜苦辣. So after a while, you get bored of all the food. That's at least for me. I know people like to enjoy food, like Aiken, all the food king good kind of thing.
Yes.
They enjoy good food. But for me, food is just to survive. Yeah.
Actually, if you spend on like really expensive meal, also you notice that it's not just the food, right? Sometimes the food is not as good as a cheap meal that you can get from a very nice, famous food court place.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more on the entire experience, like the service,
also.
and the company, So I think if you just focus on the food itself, I think usually, I mean, once in a while it's okay. We don't have to do this regularly, right?
Yeah, you can do this regularly if you got the money.
This is your life.
But like I say, I don't have time. I don't even have friends. I got friends. It's just that I seldom meet them. So that's why I don't have much chance to spend money.
Okay. All right. Let's come back to the fire topics that we just talked about just now. You said you have a number like 1 million, right?
Yeah, 1 million.
Okay. There are also people who really focus on all these topics. They have all these like 4% withdrawal rate kind of rules, right? Meaning that if you have a portfolio such that 4% withdrawal and you are able to sustain on that numbers, you will be fine, right? Consider fire. Do you agree with such let's say methodology or calculations, and do you have a fire numbers yourself?
This 4% doesn't come out of thin air. I think there's a study, the Trinity study, which just examined the past few decades, look over different portfolio allocations. That's how they came out with this 4% rule. They say there's about 99% or 100% chance of not making your portfolio go to zero if you only withdraw 4% every year over. And they're looking at even through different periods which have different things happening like World War II, all these kind of things. And they found that 4% is a good number. So that's how I derived my 4% rule. So $1 million, 4% means that I only withdraw 40K a year. Divide it by 12 is about 2K? 3K. It's about 3K expenses lah. So for me, it's sustainable because my expense is only like 1.5K to 2K. I still have a lot of leeway to go up to 3K. So yeah, it's sustainable, at least for me lah. Or if you don't find it sustainable, increase your $1 million to 2 million, then you have 8K to use, 6K to use every month lah. Yeah.
And need to think of how to increase the income also, right? If not, how to go from 1 million to 2 million.
Actually, for most people, I would say even 1 million is almost impossible to hit, right? For most people. If you look around, the people who say that they want to retire early are always the people who have very high income. Like the Chris Honey Money guy. Right? He get interviewed by Channel News Asia 2 times. But they still haven't find me. I don't know why. So if you look at all of them, people who say this, that interview, the Keith from Investment Modes, who is that? The Rui Ming from Book Salaryman, Chris Honeymoney from his channel, all of them always have some income that's very high that allows them to reach this 1 million. But for most people, right, they won't be able to reach that, I feel lah. So that's why this 1 million thing sounds good, but you have to put in the effort to reach there lah. Like for me, if I were working at my programmer job, I think I will only reach this 1 million by 65 years old. So that's the thing. So you have to like, okay, if you want to reach there, then definitely you have to do something else, like keep changing jobs every few years, ask for a pay raise, or start a YouTube channel, or just sell stuff to earn extra money. Otherwise, this is not possible for most people. Yeah.
So just need to be proactive and look for various ways to increase.
Definitely.
I think that has come to the end of the interview. So if you like the video, please subscribe and comment down below. Let us know that you want to see this kind of content in the future. And I'll bring Kelvin back so that he will have more friends to meet and have a chit chat. Don't every day just record video in his own studio. Have to draw him out. Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
See you in the next one. Bye.